All right, let's dive right into this explainer and see how an IT support engineer can completely transform their daily grind. Whether your team is running on a free tier or a business plan with Gemini enabled, we are going to look at how to turn your Google Workspace into an absolute workflow accelerator.
Now, we all know that little AI star icon is sitting right there in the corner of your Workspace apps. But honestly, ask yourself, are you actually using it? Today, we're taking that icon from a simple novelty and turning it into an indispensable tool for your IT support desk.
Just imagine starting your morning triage in Gmail. You've got a massive, completely messy thread from the overnight shift. Instead of reading every single message to figure out what broke while you were asleep, you just open the Gemini side panel and feed it this exact prompt. Summarize the main action items from this week's project updates.
Boom, instantly, Gemini distills all that chaos into clear, actionable bullet points. It pulls the context right out of the thread so you know exactly what needs immediate attention from leadership or your engineering teams. You haven't even scrolled through the thread yet and your triage is already done.
And it's a huge time saver for the mundane stuff, too. When a vendor or a frustrated user demands a meeting, you don't need to waste mental energy crafting the perfect response. Just plug this simple instruction into the prompt box, write a polite and professional reply confirming I am available, and keep it brief. We can finally say goodbye to the friction of manual drafting. Instead of staring at a blank page for 5 minutes trying to sound professional but not overly formal, Gemini gives you a polished, one-click draft in seconds. You get the perfect tone without overthinking it.
Okay, let's move over to Google Docs and see how this builds into deeper workflows. When you're handling post-troubleshooting documentation, the process is incredibly seamless. You just open the sidebar, enter your prompt while referencing specific drive files for context, and click Insert.
Because we've all been here, right? You're looking at scattered, messy, entirely unstructured notes. It's that classic brain dump of error codes, timestamps, and random observations that you took on the fly during a super stressful server outage.
The crucial takeaway here is that you do not have to spend your next hour manually formatting that chaos for your manager. You just ask Gemini to organize the mess by typing, "Turn these notes into a chronological SRE postmortem template timeline." Just like that, those panicked bullet points are converted into a beautifully formatted chronological incident timeline. Server down at 10 a.m. Investigation starts at 10:15. It takes your raw data and structures it perfectly according to standard site reliability engineering practices. Later in the day, maybe you're crunching data in Google Sheets. Instead of opening a new tab to endlessly Google complex syntax, you just describe what you want in natural language. Write a formula that looks up the value in column A and returns the corresponding price from a table on sheet 2. The contrast is honestly staggering. Think about the old, frustrating method of debugging a complex nested VLOOKUP formula with absolute references. Now compare that to just asking Gemini in plain English. It entirely removes the friction of syntax errors for anyone who isn't a total spreadsheet wizard. You can apply that exact same logic to quick data diagnostics too. Let's say you need a count-if formula to check for missing data entries in a user audit. You just type, "Show me a formula that counts how many cells in column C are not empty." And there it is. Gemini generates the precise formula right in the sidebar, ready to be inserted with a single click. It completely saves you from the administrative headache of memorizing spreadsheet syntax. But then, out of nowhere, an escalation hits. You are suddenly CC'd on a massive 40-deep email thread about an active production incident. You're staring down a literal wall of text while the system is down and users are locked out. So, how do you handle this kind of chaos without losing a crucial hour? You have to figure out exactly what's broken and update your team immediately. But reading 40 emails from panicked engineers and managers is basically impossible when every single second counts. Instead of scrolling frantically, you go straight to the Gemini side panel in Gmail and deploy this highly specific prompt. Summarize the key decisions and unresolved questions from this thread into a 3-sentence status update. Within seconds, you have a tight 3-sentence update. Service is experiencing downtime due to a recent config push. Engineering identified the logic error, reverting configuration now. You immediately ping this over to management. You've successfully triaged a major incident in less than a minute. What's truly fascinating is that in an SRE environment, you can push this even further. You can actually ask Gemini to help patch the problem based on the logs it just analyzed. Can you make a change list fixing that issue based on the logs?
It acts as a true collaborative partner. It analyzes the production logs, identifies the bad configuration logic, and actually generates a change list to revert it.
It automatically orchestrates the steps from finding the culprit to generating the fix. It's like having a senior engineer sitting right next to you.
So, the next time you're facing a 40-email incident thread, a broken spreadsheet formula, or a totally chaotic postmortem, what is your strategy going to be? Are you going to do it the hard way or the Gemini way?